Good day, and thank you for joining us for another webinar where owners are willing to share their experiences with each one of you for a learning experience. Today, I am so delighted to have one of the most fun, intelligent, delightful, high-energy women that I have ever worked with in my life, Marilyn Knight, with me with Sweet Serenity Homes. I think I learned as much from her as she learned from me, hands down, but I hope I had a small impact on her company. What she's going to share today is how she changed some things from when she started. She is a startup, you could say. She's been at it for 10 months, and she will run that through you with that. And in my opinion, has been very successful, more so than some people who've had their businesses 5 years. But she had so much openness and learning, and that's what's going to make her the great star she's going to end up being. I believe she's going to be one of those 2% companies. So without saying anything else, let me thank Marilyn for her time, because I just left her inundated with things to do, and now she's taking more time out to speak to y'all. But I hope you learned something from her. Welcome, Marilyn, and why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your company?
Hey, thanks a lot, Sharon. It's just been such an experience, and I want to start with telling you that I'm from Kansas, out here in the western part of Kansas, which is not Kansas City, folks. It is in the rural area, lots of farm ground, and there's a question here about whether or not you can build this kind of a company in this type of an area. And I thought, well, why not? I mean, we all need somebody. I was trying to figure out a business that I wanted to start. After my husband died 3 years ago, I thought, well, I'm going to get into something, and I didn't know what. And so I thought, okay, I need to find a need and fill it. And I'm thinking of all the things that people are complaining about around here, and that is, who's cleaning your house? Who do you have cleaning your house? And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what a great idea. So I get on the internet, and I searched and searched and searched, and I thought, oh gosh, maybe a franchise. I looked at all of the franchises, and of course they don't talk to me out here because we don't have that many people. And so I thought, okay, all right, then I'll have to start my own. And that was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. But being new to the area and the whole idea of this type of an industry, I thought, well, I did so much research, and I tried to cover every little detail. And of course, as anyone knows, is trying to start this business, there is a lot of detail. You think, oh, anyone could start a cleaning service, right? I mean, how difficult is that? Oh my goodness, until you stepped into the door, you have no clue. And I think most everyone here can relate to just what I'm saying. But I started the business officially November 1st of 2014, and I didn't realize the necessity of concentrating on repeat clients. And so I was counting every client that came into our business. I was counting one-time move in, move out, any kind of business we had, and so I didn't realize until Sharon pointed this out to me how important it is to concentrate your efforts on the repeat clients, because that is, in fact, where the business is. I mean, once you have, I've had a couple of really good one-time cleanings, and then you make a lot of money on it, but after that job is finished, it's like, okay, now we have to start over now. And Sharon told me that very thing. She said, hey, don't turn those down, but those don't count. And she wouldn't let me count them. And so I'm going, wait a minute, Sharon, we got to count those. And she goes, no, you can't count those. So anyway, she opened my eyes to many, many things. And so right now I am with 2 full-time cleaners and 2 part-time. One is just a college student, so I get very few hours out of her. She's kind of a fill-in, about 10 hours a week. And with one team, 2 or 3 people when necessary. I pay by the hour. I have one company vehicle, which is a huge van, and it's Sharon about choked when she saw the size of this thing. But I said, hey, if nothing else, it's a huge billboard. I can plaster both sides with advertising, right? I mean, and anyway, I have that, and it's turned out very well. I stay in the office as much as I can, and once in a while I'll go out and help with some windows, but mostly I'm in the office where I need to be. And I work a lot of hours a week. I'm not opposed to working in my own business. I mean, that's what I'm doing. You know, I chose this, and I think I want to work this. I want to work this very hard. I just want to get this up and going, and it's going to be a challenge. But I want to rise up and meet that challenge with people like Sharon. I don't know how I could go wrong.
And thank you. And you have 36 repeat clients right now. Is that correct, Marilyn?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So when you came to me and called me on the phone, you had some challenges or you wouldn't be willing to spend the amount of money you did. Tell us about those challenges.
Well, when starting up a business, I was willing to put some money into it, which I did. And then a little while later, I put some more money into it. And I found myself to the point where I was making enough money to pay my employees and part of my expenses. And I'm thinking, I just kept drawing from my other account, drawing on it and drawing on it. I'm going, wait, I have got to face reality. And reality says, I can't do this much longer. This is kind of crazy. And so I looked around, I did a lot of research, and I wanted a coach, but I wasn't sure which way to go. I had several repeat clients, there's no question, and I was doing well there, and I have a lot of people that are very, very, very happy. But I could see that my teams were not cleaning as quickly as they needed to. We were not as efficient as we needed to be. I think my numbers were up on my estimates, but when you had your numbers up, but your people take twice as long to clean it, you're back to square one. It's like, wow, this is not making sense. And I didn't know what to do about it. I didn't know. I didn't want to fall off on my quality control. So therefore, I would say take as long as you have to in order to get that job done to quality that it needs to be. But on the other hand, I'm going, wow, it's taking way too long to do this at the amount of money I'm charging. So I had many, many questions. They were taking too long to finish the job, but yet they were doing the best they could. I felt like I was killing them. You know, I felt like I was just working them to death. And I was spending way too much money in advertising. I was spending, most of my money was spent through the newspaper, local newspapers. And they had some really beautiful ads. And they were out there every day, and they made a big splash, but it really wasn't pulling in the amount of clients that I felt like I needed to have. And then I was asking my cleaning associates who were already working so hard. I didn't have them scheduled properly. Sharon showed me how to remedy that situation, because I was giving each one of those clients a specific time in order for us to go to their houses. So I would space them out a little bit to give the girls plenty of time to get from one job to another. Well, and some of them wanted, I don't want them to come until 2 in the afternoon, but they had already finished the other one at 11:30 in the morning, so they would have to go home and take a long lunch and then come back. And so I don't know how they kept with me all the time they did. They're still with me. Bless their hearts. They're just wonderful people. But that was asking a lot of them. And I knew that wasn't right, but I didn't know what to do about it. And I had a lot of these issues, and I'm going, oh, I don't know what to do. So I thought, well, I just poured my heart out to Sharon. I said, Sharon, I've got this problem and this problem and this problem. And she goes, I can help you. And so then that's when I called Sharon.
Well, I'm sure your employees appreciate the non-split thing, and that was very easy. It really was. So let's talk about how you solved each one of these problems, because I believe a lot of them are in place and solved. You were running out of money. That was a major concern. When I got there, you had 4 part-time cleaners. One of the 4 was also in the office. So you had a person that was total hours per week, working 35 hours a week, and not cleaning very many houses, actually. You had a part-time marketing consultant who was making $20 an hour, and they worked 20 hours per week. And then you had these other 3 maids that you were trying to give enough. You were running about 4 to 5 jobs per day, so you were trying to give them enough hours, so you didn't put this person who worked a lot of admin out in the field a lot because you didn't want to take away from their hours. So you were spending a lot of money. Tell me, what did we do to fix this, and how did the employees take it?
Well, that's an interesting question.
Ah.
Well, you think you know people, and you think you have them all pegged just for, I have this person that fits right into this area over here and this one over here, and you think, oh, I've got this all figured out, and this is just going to be just beautiful. However, reality doesn't always go along with those same lines. And what happened was the one that I had absolutely pegged for the full-time job, that really had told me all this time, oh, I really want to work full-time, want to work full-time. We gave her that option one day, and she took it. Yes, I do want to take it. And the very next day, she was tardy. And I'm going, whoa. And the second day, she was tardy. And I said, wait a minute, this is not going to work. We have to rethink this. And she goes, I cannot work all of these hours. She said, I have to have time for my family. And I said, so you don't want to work the 40 hours? She goes, I can't. She said, I would love to, but I can't. And I said, okay. So there were a few tears along the way, and there were a lot of laughs. But I'll tell you what, the next person we had in line brought her in, talked to her, and I said, would you like to have a 40-hour work week and work full-time? Absolutely. And she is just a worker. She's just has a wonderful personality, bubbly, ready to take on whatever I throw at her. And so it worked out that she was the one that took the full-time job, and then the third person went up to a 30-hour week, and the one that we had pegged for a full-time went to 20 hours a week, and they all seemed to be very, very happy. And of course, there's room for more hours as we need them. They have both indicated, all three of them have indicated that they'd be glad to work more hours. And then, of course, my marketing consultant at $20 an hour and 28 hours guaranteed. I had to talk with him, and I just said, you know what, this isn't going to work this way. I'm going to pay you now as a vendor, and I'm going to just order jobs from you as I need them. He's very talented. He has done a lot of graphic art for me, and he's done a lot of ad campaigns for me, and he's very talented. And so hopefully this will give him the incentive to go ahead and market his own business and help many other people rather than just me, because I obviously could not justify having him on for that amount of time. And the other person I have in my workforce is a little college gal, and just as cute as a button, but she only has about 10 hours to give me. So she'll be a good fill-in, and she's very comfortable with that.
So key to the entire thing here, Marilyn, was to try to save you money and to build a foundation in your organization of somebody that you know can grow with you. So when you do get to 70 repeat clients and double what you have, and you need full-time people, that they will be there ready to serve you. And what you found out through all this is the person you thought would be that person wasn't when it was time to put the pedal to the metal. Is that true?
That's correct. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And what you were doing, Marilyn, was padding people's paychecks because you love them so much and wanted them to be there when you did need them, correct?
Yes, I was. And Sharon has told me how to, I've got to quit doing that. And I do. I mean, I do. So I understand
I want
to
point out the value of that decision, because when you took the marketing person that she no longer has and you take the admin hours away from the lady she had to give them to in order to make her feel good enough to have this kind of job that she's not going to give to the one she just gave full-time hours to. There will be very little admin. This person is going to put flyers on doors when she has to supplement the hours. It comes to $36,000 a year. It's a lot of money when you add all that money up. Pays for me 9 times. And I start going commission on net gain. But where I want people to understand this is that is 40 repeat clients, because most clients bring you about $3,000 a year if they're repeat clients. That is 40 repeat clients a year that you do not need. And I ask you to sell 52. I mean, you'd be giving it all away, and that's why new owners don't make any money. Don't pad hours unless you're padding them where it will make you money, like flyers and things. And don't have more people than you need because you feel very guilty, so you pad their hours. And all that adds up very rapidly, very rapidly. So you got to think bottom line conscious when you're doing this, but you have to have what you have to have. And Marilyn has these 4 people and is more than covered. I mean, if 2 of them don't show up, she can call this little college student and put Linda out there. So more than covered. And the people she has are just thrilled, and I was there and I know that. They are so excited about finally getting a promise of 40 hours a week when they wanted it. Not the one who didn't want it, but the one who wanted it is, oh my God. I mean, she grabbed flyers and went running out the door. They were just amazing.
She really did. She's really excited. Yes.
I'm so glad. So the next thing was you thought there was little repeat client growth and you were doing way too many one times, and part of this was advertising and things, but you went out to these people and quoted in the homes, and you made a major, major, major transition from in-home sales to phone sales. While I was there, I saw it happen with my own eyes. Talk to us about that a little bit. How do the clients feel about this?
Oh, well, I think they like it. I really do. I think they like it. I'll tell you what, that was a challenge. That was very difficult to do. The first time I answered the phone, I'm going, oh my goodness, what am I doing? I have no clue. And then I'm going, yes, I do. I'm going to make it through here. And of course, I had so many things on my desk when the phone rang. I couldn't find all my scripts that you had just painstakingly made for me. And I didn't have it in front of me. And I'm going, okay, I'm going to make it through this. And I somehow managed to just rattle along until I got my papers in front of me, and I was able to make the quote, and the people were just thrilled, and they just talked to me just like, oh, this is so great, you know. I couldn't tell you how difficult that was, but I think it's going to work out really well.
So how do you feel about the control factor? I mean, do you feel like people say they have to go in the home in order to feel like they know what's going on, so that the client knows what's going on? How do you feel about that in comparison to in the home? Do you feel you have more or less control?
Oh, you know, you made a tremendous statement to me when I said, oh, I really want to see that home. I want to see how, you know, like I've heard before, what you want to find out the level of the dirt in that house without having to ask, because you're not going to be told that anyway. They're going to say, oh, my house isn't that bad. And then you go and you're going, oh, my goodness, it's been a while. So anyway, you told me that by going out to their homes, they are going to control the way I do my business. And I'm going, wow, I've got to think about that. And after I did, you are absolutely correct. That was just an amazing statement, and it was hard for me to swallow. But on the other hand, it was just enlightening, because after I thought about it, when you do go into a home and you're talking to these people, they want to show you, oh, this is my little grandson did this over here, and this is very important here, and this is very important, and we don't want to dust this, and we do want to dust this, and be sure, and you know, by the time you're going through there, you're going, oh my goodness, how much stuff that I need to make a note on every little item, because she's willing to show me every little item in her house if I'm willing to listen and take notes. And I'm going, oh, we don't need to know all of this in order to clean her house. So you made an absolute statement by doing that, and I'm glad I listened, and I hope I can adhere to that from this point on, because I can definitely see the benefits in doing that.
I'm glad, Marilyn. And she sold a couple over the phone when I was there. I walked in the door at 33, and I walked out at 36. And she didn't bid any of them. So she was bidding, I mean, in the home. Oh, no, she went out to see one home. That's right. But
just because we had these windows.
Yeah.
I haven't done it on the windows yet. I'm still working on that, Sharon. I promise I'm going to get better. But, oh, that really frightens me. It really does.
Well, and fear is what keeps most people from stepping forward and doing what they need to do. So
absolutely.
The other problem you had was or the other thing that you changed is you're now selling a product with services that are valuable to the repeat client, the internal and the external clients, and that is no frickin charge and performing additional tasks with each visit. Talk to us, and that's the external client. Talk to us about the impact on that a little bit.
Oh my goodness. That was another, I just had never thought about doing it that way, because here again, when you go into a home and you're thinking, oh my, we're going to have to clean, this has to be cleaned before we can even start the process because it hasn't been done for a while. So my theory was there has to be a first-time charge to get this home up to standards. And most people don't complain about that. But on the other hand, some of them take a lot of money to get them up to that standard. And I'm going, how can you not do this? But as you told me, that client, if it's a weekly client, you're probably looking at a $5,200 account. And so is it not worth it to me as an owner to spread that out a little bit and offer them some services on a what shall I call it? Rotating, yes, an ongoing rotating service, one thing at a time, rather than kill my girls to do this all at one time, number one, and number two, they get that as an additional service with no extra fee, and they are thrilled. And like you said, you were telling me that if they are calling around for prices from one company to another, even though I think we're the only real professional cleaning service here because of our insurance and workman's comp and doing the backgrounds and all of this. I don't know any other place that's doing that around here. But even so, people are not that, I don't know that they're that impressed about it at first unless they really think it through, and then they're going, oh yeah, that might be worth it, you know. After they've had something broken or whatever, somebody's hurt in their home, then they'll think about it. But if you give them, if they call two different places and we're the ones that say, hey, this is going to be the cost every week, starting with week one, and the other one says, well, the first time is going to be $310 and then it'll be $120 after that. And like you said, that's exactly who they're going to go with. They're going to go with the one who's going to offer that number right up at the top, and they're saying, hey, this is what you're going to be paying from the get-go because you're a repeat customer. And it makes sense. I can appreciate that, even though those first-time cleans, you do make more money, but you're really taxing the cleaning associates in taking care of that every time for a new client. And we're not going to have that situation now. So it's a win-win, I think.
Yes, your internal clients, which are harder to find than your external clients, really seems very excited about not doing very many first-time and deep cleans anymore and just doing it on a rotational basis. So
absolutely.
Good. It was fun to be there and see them. So you said there was little repeat client growth. You had too many one-times. Oh, advertising. You were going to change the way you advertise. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, well, I've done a lot of advertising in the newspapers. I mean, I'm embarrassed to say how much I've spent on advertising in the newspapers, but it's been a lot. And now Sharon has taught me how to, well, I'm going to change my brochure. I've got a nice brochure, but I want to change it up just a little bit. And I think it's going to be a beneficial change. And they're very professionally done, and they look really nice, but there are some things that need to be changed, and I think it will make a big difference. And then we're also doing a lot of door hangers. We had started that before Sharon got here, and then she showed us how to increase that particular area of marketing, and that seems to do well. I just got a call the other day of somebody that was calling from a door hanger that they had received. And so that's always nice. And then she's talking about, different ways of doing, she talked to me about the emails, how important the emails are. Do you want to get into that
Marilyn,
now?
I'm going to interrupt for a moment because I think we cover this down the line. let's
Okay,
get back
okay.
to like how we're going to track this and the wall chart. You are in the
Oh,
process
the
of making
wall
a
chart.
wall chart. Do you want to talk to your audience about the wall?
She's not going to let up on this wall chart. I haven't done it yet. I've only had today, though, so give me a chance. I'm going to get that. It'll be up by tomorrow. But the wall chart, and I can certainly see how this works, and the girls are excited about it. We've talked about it today. And it's going to show every client that we have that is a repeat client. She won't let me count anybody else. It has to be a repeat client, and that's a weekly, biweekly, 3-week, or monthly. So those are the only choices I have, and hopefully they'll be mostly weekly and biweekly because those are the ones we really like. Anyway, we're going to list everyone. What kind of a repeat customer are they, and then well, first of all, I have to back up just a bit. We have to put down our goal at the top, and that's how many that we plan to get. How many new repeat clients we want to get for that month. So as we list mine down, we have 36, and every name is going to be on there and it's going to go across. And then our numbers, if we say we are going to have 6 new clients in a month, then every week we're going to say, okay, how did we do? By the end of Friday, we should have 1 new one or 2 new ones. It'll be 1 for 1 week, 2 for the next week, 1 for the next week, 2 for the next, which would make 6 for the month, or like 4 for a month. Whatever your goal is, you would put it up on there, and you would plus or minus at the end of the week, so you know where you stand. So you're going to stay engaged with that chart every day. It has to be someplace for all of the employees are going to see that the first thing when they walk in, and so that's the first thing you're going to look at and say, how are we doing? How are we doing? And it's like putting up a vision board. I'm a real believer in vision boards because I think if you can see it up there and everyone can visualize what the goal is, and if it's a goal that is attainable, I don't believe in setting goals that are pie in the sky type things that you're never going to reach. But I do believe in setting goals that you can attain and learn from it. And if we set a goal for 4 clients this month and we reach that, we're going to move that up. We're going to say, hey, we did that. Let's do 6 this month or whatever. And I think that'll make us totally aware of where we are, and it will show any cancellations. And it will show, well, I can't say cancellations, but I'm talking about losing the customers. And I'm not talking about one-time cancellation or anything. I'm talking about losing a client. And hopefully it's not for quality control. If it's for financial reasons, we can understand that. We're going to still stay in touch with them. But if it's quality control, we need to go back to the basics and find out why. And this involves the entire staff, and everyone needs to be aware of why we lost that and what we can do to keep that from happening in the future. And perhaps maybe we can move that, we can even visit with that client and bring them back into the fold.
So your employees will be rewarded when you hit your goal each month?
Yes, they will be rewarded. Okay. When we hit our goals, we're going to give there's actually only 2 that come under this category, and they will be given $50 as a bonus when we reach that goal at the end of the month.
Very good.
And they're all excited about that. Yes.
I bet they are.
Yes,
okay.
They are.
So you said you were losing confidence in the quality of your cleanings. You'd lost a couple of repeat clients, valuable clients due to quality. And when you're little and you only hear the bad and not much good, pretty soon it becomes, and you have a lot of integrity. I'm going to say this about Marilyn. She has phenomenal integrity. What she says she does, she's going to do. She tells this client she's going to deliver this wonderful service, and then she doesn't. And little by little, she starts losing her confidence and in her ability to deliver what she says she's going to, which is an integrity issue. So tell us a little bit about what happened. Well, when I got there, I observed a team on Monday morning, and I probably should go through this. I was looking for process and quality in when I went out to look at them. I give no feedback. As a matter of fact, I gasped greatly when I watched her cleaners clean the top of a stovetop with a human stick. So I said nothing. I kept my mouth closed because I wanted your people to love me, not think I was just there to pick on them. But I took a good look at them, and it was overall a good cleaning. It really was. I mean, not tons of dust came falling from everywhere. They didn't miss a lot, but they were missing some detail that I believe I would have lost clients in my cleaning service had we missed that detail. And their finished product to me just didn't seem to shine. It was clean, but it didn't have that wow factor when you walk in the room and go, look at those fixtures shine, or look at those walls shine. To me, you could clean a house with water, and the client could care less that it wasn't disinfected. As long as it shined, they think it's clean. So because of no consistent process, they had some wasted time. They were carrying a lot of supplies into the home, and they were cleaning things that were maybe already cleaned, like they cleaned a clean bathroom, and with just the way they would clean a dirty bathroom, which is a lot of time. So I'm going to go back before we, well, I believe we handled this. So let me go past this one. So why don't you go through now how we did this, Marilyn, from kicking off the meeting to training the first person, getting them to buy into this. Like, first of all, we had a meeting with your company. Tell me about that meeting and how that went and the things we covered in it.
Well, it was interesting because I'm pretty small, so I can do this, but I made one day just for everyone here at the same time. And so we moved clients around so we could open that day up. And a lot of people are going to be way too big to do that, so you have to do it in stages, but it worked out well for mine. And so on Tuesday morning, we had everybody in here. We had breakfast out on the patio, and we just had I tried to make it a relaxed atmosphere simply because everyone was so nervous about Sharon coming. I think they thought she was going to carry a big whip. And, it just wasn't that way at all. And I tried to tell them in preparation that she is not here to criticize. If she does, it will be constructive criticism. She's here to help us. And I said, she was very gracious and said the girls were doing a good job, but she could help them so much and improve their the way they clean, their technique. Their technique was totally different, and the way they were cleaning. I mean, they thought they were getting zinged, but you know what? I told them, I said, oh no, you have no idea. I said, Sharon zings me all the time. She told me that I was cleaning like my grandmother, and all of these buckets and all this water and everything. And I'm going, wow, that, So anyway, we had a lot of laughs along the way, but she showed us all a better technique. She showed us better ways, better products, better equipment, and the whole package comes down to, oh my goodness, what a difference. And in so doing, everyone had to be trained again. I mean, it was starting from the very basic training, and we would take, I had a TV in downstairs, and it has a DVD player. So we would put one person down there watching the video for instance, doing bathrooms, and she would watch that twice through and then bring her upstairs and clean a bathroom. And then another person would do the very same thing with the kitchen or whatever. And every one of my girls has gone through it. Well, they haven't all gone through the whole thing, but the ones that they have gone through, they are very, very good. They have really picked up on the technique, and it's really doing well. And I have to expound just a little bit if we have time, Sharon. I want to tell them about Stephanie cleaning the bathroom.
Yes.
She cleaned the main bathroom on my main floor, and with Sharon there to just watch her and help her through and just guide her. Sharon didn't do it for her because she had already watched the video twice, and she had her apron on with all of the things that was just totally it was just totally foreign to her, because she was used to all the buckets and everything, So anyway, she walked through and she did it just like the video showed, and she got through that. And Sharon was very complimentary. It looks great, looks great. And she brings her back out and she goes, now, I think, Stephanie, I'm going to take you back downstairs and have you go ahead and watch the video on cleaning kitchens. And she goes, you know, I think I would feel better if I could clean another bathroom. And so, absolutely. So she goes back into, I have a very small bathroom off of my bedroom, and it just has a shower, a walk-in shower, and a toilet and a little vanity. And so she goes in there and she cleans that one. And she is so excited when she got through. It was just amazing. It was just beautiful. And the next morning, well, we were later, a little bit later, she's ready to move on to something else with Stephanie, and Stephanie said, just 1 minute, I have to go back and look at that bathroom again. She was so excited, and it looked, I mean, it just had that, like Sharon said, it just had that wow factor that it was just amazing. And it wasn't that the bathrooms were not clean before, but they just didn't have that sparkle that you almost have to have your sunglasses when you walk in, you know. And the next morning, Marty gets up and goes in that shower, and he goes, oh my goodness, I don't know whether I should shower in this room or not. It looks so nice. I don't know whether I want to mess it up. And I'm going, yes, that's what I want to hear. That's exactly what I want to hear. So it was really, really, it was worth it. It was great. It was great.
It does leave a wow factor, and I think probably Marilyn's biggest factor, and this is a true story, is she bought this van to hold all of her supplies. Her son even said, you need that many supplies to clean a house, and that van was packed. And when those girls got done learning all this on Friday, they kept asking, can we clean it out now? Can we clean it out now? And they literally have 2 buckets and a bag of rags in the back, and they could fit this in the back of a Kia. So Marilyn's looking for receipts so she can take all of her products back. But Marilyn, do you want to speak once to the use of lemon oil and the wow factor and how to use it right, and then maybe speak to the disinfectant cleaner and combination Windex disinfectant and how many products you could throw away because of that?
Oh my goodness! I look out there in my garage and I have shelves and shelves of products. You just wouldn't believe it, and I just want to keep those products out available, so I would just keep buying these and buying these. And so the girls on Friday, they came in, they go, can we clean the van out? I said, yeah, go ahead. So they bring in all of this stuff, and I'm going, oh my goodness. And I look at the van, and it's almost empty. And it's just like this huge, it's like a box car, but it has a lot of room for advertising on the side, though, so that's a good thing, you know, it's a big billboard. Anyway, we have the lemon oil and rags for the lemon oil. We have the disinfectant and rags for that, and we have some Tilex for mold and mildew problems in the bathrooms. And, of course, we have our little tools in our apron, and we were already onto the little tools, so we were familiar with that. So we kept the tools, and Sharon showed us the better aprons to use, because we had aprons, but they were not the deep pockets, and they did not have the loops, but they were pretty. But anyway, we decided to go with the big ones, like she showed us, and the girls are loving them. And we've got the smaller little spray bottles, and so they fit into the loops without getting in the way. And Stephanie and Lorenza used those today, and they loved those little bottles that they got, and they worked out very well. And so basically we have cut our supply. I can't even tell you how much we've cut our supplies, because I just don't even know. I'm just in shock. And of course, she also told us about the schmops for our floors, and those are coming in tomorrow. We ordered those, and they should be in tomorrow. So the girls are coming and saying, did they possibly come in today? And I said, no, I wish they did. But I said, if they come in tomorrow and you still have 2 houses or 3 houses to clean, I promise I will bring them to you. And they go, oh, yes, yes. So that'll be kind of fun to see if that's going to work. But they're excited about that as well. So that's another thing, because I have these big yellow industrial mop buckets, and it takes a while with another bucket to fill these to enough water to put your big mop in, and you have to really get the moisture out because you don't want a lot of water on your floor. And so it's just been it's been a real experience, and the girls are so excited about these changes.
So Marilyn, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you consider the quality of your cleaning now that you look at it when you finished a home before you learned the core system?
Before we learned the core system?
Yes, on a scale of 1 to 10.
1 being low and 10 being high?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I would have to say we were 7.
Okay.
Because they did a good job, but it was slow.
They did.
It just took a long time. But I think
I'm
now...
talking more quality than efficiency because I'll probably ask,
right.
I want to talk about that next. So quality would be a 7. What do you think it is now when you look at your homes?
Oh, I think we've gone up. I mean, I'm talking at least 8.5. And I'm not going to get too over... I mean, because they're still learning. I mean, it's new, but they're doing a tremendous job. And I'm not going to say they're a 10 because they're still learning the process. But, oh, yeah, it's increased considerably, yes.
So when you walk in the door and you're using the lemon oil correctly now, do you see a difference in the furniture from now, the way it looks when you walk in the door versus the way it used to look?
Yes, yes. And we were using a Murphy oil solution. And it does a tremendous job in conditioning the wood, but it didn't give it that shining appearance. And it wasn't oily, but neither is the lemon oil if it's used correctly. And I do like that. I like the way that you use very, very, very little of it. And we were going through a lot of product in all products. But the girls really like it. They came back today. They were so excited. And they said, wow, there's enough lemon oil here to last us for a long time. And I said, yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah, 2 bottles, and I'm like, oh, my God, you'll be dying with your lemon oil. So, and then now let's talk about efficiency, because anybody can clean a home good that's not necessarily true, but if you give them enough time, I mean, and the right products, so things really shine. What about the time factor? Has their time gone up or down with the new system?
Oh, it's cut our time considerably. We were taking 4 girls. 2 girls can do the same job as it was taking 4 girls. And that's right now. That is right now. So it
with improved, with quality going from 7 to 8.5 and time being cut in half.
Right.
And that took us 5 days.
Yeah, the efficiency is just incredible, and it's getting better all the time because they're getting more comfortable doing it, and it's becoming, like you say, 17 times creates the habit, and so it's taken a little bit of time, but they're getting better every time they do it, and they feel more comfortable, and after a while, I think it's just going to come almost naturally, or should I say automatically? Yeah.
It will be. It'll just be a habit, which is automatic. Right. Yes. And they missed nothing, so I'm extremely pleased with that. You weren't sure where you were going to get your repeat sales without spending money. I mean, I'm saying before I even get there, get rid of Jared, the marketing person. You're like, well, now wait a second, Sharon, where am I going to get my sales from? So
yes, yes, I was nervous about that.
I hope you aren't anymore. Why don't you walk through the bullets on this page and tell them what you're doing in each one of these things that you feel will generate sales. And before you say that, I'm going to say that the most delightful thing that happened here is I never dreamed in a million years that you can make enough money in a city that has 35,000 people. And if you could consider, I mean, I grew to a city of 1.75 million, so I think they have to be big to be producing millions. Maryland has a city north and south of her that are drivable that also have about that many people. I will guarantee you after going to this city, oh my God, if I had to start all over again, I'd probably go to a little city because she has plenty enough money in this little city because they have lots of farming, oil, gas. I mean, there's very, very wealthy people in this city. And her internal client is so easy to recruit because when you have a big city, there's many, many jobs. In a little city, there aren't a lot of jobs. So Marilyn has people working for her that would probably be field managers if they worked for me. They are of that caliber. So there are lots of advantages to little cities, and oh my gosh, I loved working it. It was just a world full of people are so friendly and open. So with that, tell us first about how it went with, we're going to use cleaning for a reason, how we're going to use it to open up doors and about our appointments.
Okay, and I need to thank you, Sharon, for encouraging me to go along with this. I learned about this foundation a while back, and I thought, well, maybe, maybe not. I just couldn't see the benefit of doing that. So after talking to Sharon, though, she explained to me how, number one, it's a great way to get out into the community, and it's for a good cause, obviously. There was never a question about that. In a small city, I do know a lot of people here. I've been around here a long time, and that does help. But there are avenues of people that I do not know, and the hospital and the medical industry is one of them. And cleaning for a reason, we went over, made a contact with the people here that are taking care of the breast cancer center, and we visited with them. And they were just delighted that we're doing this. They were relatively familiar with this whole idea, but they really hadn't worked it. And they were just open with us and said, well, yeah, we've heard of it. We really haven't done much with it, and so on and so forth. So I'm going, whoa, wait a minute. We need to step in here and do something. And she goes, oh, that would just be wonderful. So we told her a little bit more. We left her some brochures. And then it's just kind of crazy, and I'm sure it's all political or whatever, but there's an oncology center here that is quite a large one. For this size of a city, it's really pretty good size, and they're, of course, building on a huge addition. And that is run separately from the breast cancer division, but they all work in connection with each other, but they're not the same. So we're going to also go over and talk to them. There's a city just north of us that has their own hospital. All of these places that are close to us in proximity are going to be, they are going to be sending their patients to Garden City. So therefore, we need to reach out to all of these areas and let them know what we're doing, because if we can get the word out to all of these other places, I think that's when we're going to hit the road running with this cleaning for a reason. And in so doing, that will open up avenues for the doctors and the nurses and all of that medical industry that I am totally unfamiliar, but I'm willing to learn. So that has been, I think that's going to be a beneficial thing, and I think it'll be a fun thing to work. I really think it'll be enjoyable.
Well, and you certainly, doctors and nurses certainly don't clean their own homes, so this thing is just going to bust loose for you, and they're looking for a credible person to do that, and you're credible. Ironically, while we were talking to the woman at the cancer center, and she gave us a little plethora of names to contact, she brings up a women's fair. So voila, we are, of course, Marilyn's going to get involved in this. Talk a little bit about why that's a good match for you in this opportunity.
Okay, the Women's Fair is going to be held at the, it's a very nice Clarion Hotel. They have a lot of rooms in the back for conferences and so on and so forth, and they have these type of things from time to time. So when we learned about this, it's going to be in September, toward the end of September, and basically it's just all kinds of things, you know, the Brighton purses and the Scentsy candles and this kind of thing. But we also learned that the Cancer Center was going to have a booth there. So we thought, what a great opportunity. Well, I can't take credit for that. Sharon said that. And but as we talked to her and we got the information about the Women's Fair and called in to get a booth reserved, I asked if we could actually be tabled right next to them. And so our booth is going to be right next to the cancer clinic or cancer center. So that will be a very good thing there. It'll get our foot in the door. And we're going to, like Sharon said, hey, put out a nice table and make it just beautiful and offer some things, and then offer a free drawing for a free cleaning. And so, you know, it just, and then in the meantime, you can take information down from everyone that questions anything about your company, get their name, their email address. So even if you don't talk to them at that time, you can send them an email address, a follow-up, a brochure or a coupon or a special that you're running or whatever, and you've got that email address. And that is so exciting to me because I have never worked with emails, and Sharon proved to me that that is invaluable. We have to have that. So that is on my list. When I talk to people on the phone, I get their email address. Thank you, Sharon, for making me do that, because that was another thing that I hadn't done before. So there's a lot of firsts here that I'm learning, but I think it's all good.
You're going to then send constant contacts every 3 weeks to these people and then follow up with outbound sales. Flyers. Let's talk a moment. Your people grabbed flyers and ran out the door. Why did they do that? What bonus plan do you have them on there, and how did you get them so excited?
Well, we've done these, they're door hangers. And it says, we're already cleaning in your community, in your neighborhood. We could be cleaning yours next week or whatever. I don't know exactly what it says, but it says something to that effect, because here's our great big van sitting in their neighbor's driveway. And then as soon as the girls get through cleaning, they jump out with these door hangers and they hang them on the neighbor's doors. And the incentive is, as they get, like we said, you know, once we reach our goal, then they get that $50 bonus. So they're going, hey, out the door we go. We're going to get that you know, we want that bonus. And how difficult is it? You're not knocking on any doors. You're not calling any people. You're not asking anyone for anything. You're just simply giving them an opportunity to have a clean house. So that's I think it's another win-win. They were very excited. They were really excited. They said, yeah, let's go. Yeah.
And last, when I'm hoping this week, but definitely yes, next, Marilyn is not all excited about going back to the Rotary again. She's not excited about doing these interneting things, because she did it when she was married to a man that was very successful and did a lot of it then. But ironically, she's taking a look at things, because you have to go where people with money are. And she was very embedded in the Rotary before, and she thought this time around she should do the chamber. And I'm like, no, 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 no. People at the chamber are business owners, and business owners don't have any money. People who work with other people have money. And the Rotary is filled with people who are working for other people. So the difference that you take in our industry, or as an owner building a business versus when you had a big business, is very different. The Rotary she didn't like because it was all employed people, and she wanted to hang with business people when she had big bucks. But now that she's starting over again, she needs to hang with people who have money to use her. Is this, I mean, that was an eye-opener to you, was it not, Marilyn?
Well, yes, that's part of it. But really, Sharon, one other reason that, I mean, this is all very true, what you're saying, but there's one other reason. I've been on so many boards, and I get on a board and I can't be quiet. And so whenever you have an idea, guess who gets to be the chairman of the committee, you know? And that's what I'm going, oh, no, I can't afford to do this time, you know? I just can't afford this time. I spent all those years on Rotary, you know? No, I don't want to do Jubilee again. I don't want to, you know? So there's several other reasons, yeah. But I'm going to check into it. How's that, Sharon? I promise I will check into that.
Okay. I thought I had totally so when I left. I guess I'll have to get on the phone with her one more time. The point is to do things that cost little or no money. And everything we've talked about that she's doing now, marketing, replaces the $1,400 a month she was paying to her marketing person, gives her a lot more cash flow, and she can do these things that will get her name out there, and better than Facebook or anything that's internet orientated. It will give her a repeat client base more than if she finally goes to a Rotary meeting and makes a contact there, chances are it will be a repeat client. If she does something on Facebook and it comes in the door, chances are it's going to be a one-time. So that's the whole key here is to spend your time and your money that's going to give you your repeat client base. So
and that does make sense. It does.
Yeah, and that's why I'm definitely pushing it. Some other things that Marilyn covered along the way are performance appraisals, developing supervisors and cleaners. She now has access to building a winning team and things that she can show to her supervisors to learn what they're doing, not just make them a supervisor and they can't go any further. She talked to you about the floors, and she's got a leadership work to do. But do you want to talk about either the performance appraisal or the webinars?
Well, oh my goodness, you left me with so many wonderful pieces of information that I can use, whether it's CDs or DVDs or all of the forms. Oh my goodness, the forms alone are just amazing. Because I've done my own forms, and now that we're changing things around, obviously we need to make those, make those work for us. And I could just look in the forms that you've given me and make that happen. I just have to put my name on them and make those things mine. And you've told me about things about the my handbook, my employee handbook, that I really need to change. My handbook I thought was very, very good, and yet there are things in it that are that I need to have in there that I don't, and I need to include that. So I need to totally change that and make those changes in that. And it's just going to be fun to build this whole winning team. It's there. I've got all of the equipment, all of the resources I need at my fingertips, and I feel totally capable of putting this together and making it go. I really do. I feel absolutely incredible. I'm excited. And
very good. Very good,
Sharon. I couldn't have done it without you. I couldn't.
Well, you're very sweet. So do you think five days of this Express training in your office is a good amount of time?
Oh, my goodness. I am so glad I did this. I am so glad I did this. I had spent a lot of money, and I had gone to some conferences and have done a lot of things online. And you know what? I said, I want somebody to spend time with me because I have my own unique problems here. And I'm not different than anybody else, but I thought if I'm going to spend this much money, I want the time on my people and my business. And I opt to go with that. And you know what? I don't regret it for 1 minute. I think it was the best thing I ever did since I started this business. My only regret is that I didn't find you a year ago. And if I had found you a year ago, I'm sure I'd be better off right now.
Well,
but
you
can't go back. You can't go back.
You were probably more open-minded now than you would have been a year ago.
Yes.
Because sometimes people know everything until it's like the son who says, "My dad was so stupid until I became 26, and overnight he was just so smart." So sometimes you just have
that's
to
very
mature
true.
in order to be willing to listen, without a doubt. So,
very
who
true.
do you recommend Hill Country? Who do you recommend cross country training to? And then, well, let me ask you this question first. This is $4,000 right now. I say right now because I'm not sure, but I'll tell you what, I'm not figuring out what I'm making by the hour because long days to say, but you do get your money's worth. But half the price of that is Hill Country Harvest, which is where you learn everything you've learned, just not in your office.
Right.
What do you think? Could somebody learn this and implement it themselves? And if they don't have the 4,000, should they definitely at least do the 2,000, or should they wait until they get the 4,000? What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I think I'm glad I did what I did. But if I didn't have that much money, I would definitely suggest going down there. I would just grab a hold of any information I could, as long as it's good information. And that's the hard part. How do you know that what you're getting is going to be good quality information that you can actually use? And I'm telling you, she goes by the book, and you can just follow her book, and it's going to be good. And so even though what I really commend you on, Sharon, is that the Hill Country Harvest, you only have 8 people there. Good for you, because that keeps the numbers down. And so the people are going to feel like they're going to get that almost a one-on-one, but you're going to get some inside information from other people, and you're going to learn from other people as well, but it's not, the numbers are not going to be so large that it takes away from what you're actually learning. And that can be a problem in a big setting because there's so many people out there and everyone has a story. And so you don't want to spend your time listening to stories. You want to spend your time listening to you as a trainer and taking those tidbits of information and taking them home with you that you can just make those little nuggets work in your company. But am I glad that I did this? Absolutely. And if anyone can think they can't afford it, look back at your figures again and say, where am I going to be if I keep doing what I'm doing in 6 months? And if I stop and put this money over into somebody, a coach like Sharon, where am I going to be if I go this route in 6 months? And you know what? It wasn't, I didn't even have to ask myself. I didn't even have to answer that. It was just it was a given. It was a given. And I am so glad I did it. And it was, like I say, there were a few tears around here with my people. They were a little anxious, a little nervous, and rightfully so. My goodness, they have gone through a lot with me already. And, but you know what? We ended up laughing, and they love you, Sharon. They love you. And so you ended on a good note. You know, sometimes tough love is hard, but yet the outcome is going to be phenomenal. And so, yes, I'm very, very glad I did this, and I can't wait for the rest of the year. I think by the end of December, I'm going to have some numbers to show to you that is going to be exciting. So,
well, and we're going to have you back at the end of December where your numbers best be where they need to be.
Yeah, I'm going to be in trouble, huh?
Yeah, well, without a doubt. Like I said, in Texas, we carry guns, and you do in Kansas, too, I have found out. So be careful if you don't make your numbers, Miss Marilyn.
That's for sure.
So if you'd like to talk to Marilyn, she's very open. Her phone number is here. She's also, you can email her at Marilyn at sweetserenityhomes.com. You know what? I got that wrong, don't I? Well, that gets you.
No. Either one. Oh, yeah, I can get it, email it either one.
Okay, yeah. Perfect. So if you have any questions, if you on details, whether or not it's really worth the investment, give her a call, or if you have any questions without making the investment, I'm sure she would be willing to share with you what she learned from me if it's going to do you any good. And I don't mind. I mean, if anything that makes you better, well, eventually circle back to me. So talk to her if you'd like. If you'd like to look into either Hill Country Harvest or Cross Country Training, go to my website at successmadeeasy.com. That's spelled M-A-I-D. And there's a banner that goes across the front. So just click on Cross Country Training or Hill Country Harvest, and the agenda is there. There's payment plans. The next Hill Country Harvest class is September 18th to September 20th, so it's right around the corner. I'm half full, so I do take 8 people. So you might want to get on and register if you want to do it. Because your plane tickets would be the cheapest right now. If you wait another week for this, they'll be out of the question. If you want to still contact me, if you'd like to do it, I'll give you the early bird discount as long as you call me today or tomorrow, which would save you $500. So give me a call or email me, and I'll call you back, and you'll save enough to buy your plane ticket. So, Marilyn, any parting words?
Oh, my goodness. Like, RJ told me, don't walk to Sharon, run to Sharon. She has something worthwhile, and you will not regret it. I promise. I promise. It's been great.
Well, thank you, Marilyn. That was a very nice outtake. And I also want to thank Marilyn and Marty, her boyfriend, for the phenomenal hospitality they showed me. I never had so much fun in my life. I said, I never dreamed with when I clicked my heels 3 times and I would end up in Kansas, that I would actually want to click my heels again and go back. I mean, come on, Garden City. It was like a dream come true. I really felt like I landed in Oz. So thank you for your hospitality and the wonderful time. And look for Marilyn in December when we're going to find out if she's still on track. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you next time when we bring you an owner who's willing to share their experience.